On this episode, we're going to talk about is AI to the point where it's going to actually replace doctors? This is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about pros and cons of using AI. We've got 6 pros, 6 cons. I know a lot of people are a bit apprehensive about artificial intelligence, but as I always say, I'd rather be a physician who knows how to use AI versus those who are about to replace it. My name is Dr. Mike Wu Ming.
And I'm Dr. Ann Trung, and welcome to Dr. Boss.
Welcome. We're going to talk about AI for physician entrepreneurs. Now, I know a lot of you are already using ChatGPT, so I thought it'd be good to talk about the pluses and minuses of using artificial intelligence. We're going to talk about how I use AI. We're going to talk about how Ann uses AI and some of the drawbacks that we see to make you a better, efficient physician entrepreneur. So the first pro that I have is AI is great for just time and workflow efficiency. I use it regularly for charting, for soap notes. We use AI to actually even schedule appointments. We use that. Some use it for prescription refills, and in a sense, it just reduces that administrative burden. So these are tasks that I was paying humans to use, and that's certainly freed up time to make my business a little bit more streamlined, allowing us more time for patient care and for growing our business.
So I use AI, it's called voice AI, to answer incoming phone call that come to our office after hours. So during office hours, we have a live receptionist answer phone call. And then after hours, instead of having it go to voicemail, the voice AI will answer it. But we would state a welcome message that, hi, this is Dr. Ann Trung's office. And we call her Belle. I am Belle. I'm the AI assistant. And she answered all the messages. But what we found by instituting the voice AI after hours and on the weekend, we found that we were able to get at least about 30 leads that are interested in our treatment that called after hours. And what it's telling us is that we need to be calling them back fairly quickly. So now we actually have a VA that we hire that if voice AI answers something that if it sounds like a lead or a prospect, then that the VA would literally physically call the prospect to get them booked and some type of treatment that we offer. So missed opportunity, missed revenue is money lying on the table. So if you don't have AI answering phone call, because you're not paying for that, then you may be losing some revenues after hours that you're not even aware of. Because how many people call and they get the voicemail and they hang up? So now with voice AI, you can capture that, and with the AI that we use in Dr. Boss, it captured their phone number and may even capture their name. All the AI does is just get the name and the phone number, and then it gets text and email to us if they qualify.
Right. So let's go on. We got one pro. Let's give one con. And this is a huge con, guys. Guess what? AI can be inaccurate. It makes up stuff, what's known as hallucinations. And it's so important, especially you guys are dealing with clinical information, you got to check it. It's still not to the point where it's going to be 100% accurate. It might be giving information that is completely wrong. I had one incident where I tested 3 different AIs and I got 3 different recommendations for there. So it's not to the point yet. I still think a human has to oversee everything like that. So you need to be very careful, especially if you're putting in soap notes that could result in liability. That's the last thing that you need. So make sure you use and you look through the information and make sure that it is inaccurate before you decide to save it and post. Anything you want to say on that?
Yeah, I actually have not used AI so much as in SoapNote. I'm still doing the old-fashioned way of typing it in. We have a lot of templated, but I have used AI in the room if I'm doing more of education. So if I'm doing education and I feel that is important for the patient to retain, I will use my phone. I have Otter AI that loaded as an app on my phone. We'll record that, and then Otter will summarize it and do action item, and then we would email that to the patient. So I wouldn't use it as a soap note. I use it more as like, here's a summary of what to discuss about, and this is the action item. Studies have shown that patients only retain like 12% of what you say in the room. And so how often you have a patient leave your office and then they call back and go, oh, I need this. And you discussed about it. And they're still asking the question again. We now have a solution for that where, because I educate a lot about diet, exercise, and stress management. And so I use it as a summary, not so much as a replacement of my soap note.
So let's talk about a pro, and I know you love this. Here at Dr. Boss, we love talking about marketing. And so we use AI to help create more content, search engine optimized content, generating social media posts, creating ad copy, manage email campaigns. We've talked about the importance of using lead magnets, where you use AI for lead magnets, nurture sequences, quiz funnels. This is great for building patient acquisition, client acquisition. I know you use this quite a bit.
Yeah, it's my everyday go-to tool for emails. And I don't use it so much as to build the funnel, but really use it for writing copy for emails and funnels and even text. But I do the same thing you do. Is I'll use ChatGPT, then I'll go over to use Claude to make it more humanized. I like Claude better. And sometimes I honestly will add in some stuff on my own as well. So I use AI as a skeleton starting point, and then I'll add into more personalization as well. But it's definitely better than staring at a blank screen to get you started. I use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Perplexity every day. That's my 4 tools that I use. And definitely, I feel that you don't need a marketing agency anymore, but you still need a marketing for strategy because you still need the strategy. But as in the copy, you can probably do okay if you just have a software like Dr. Boss to send out the emails and the text.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys like a hot tip that I've been using it. So I use ChatGPT to create kind of like you said, a framework, bare bones. Give it a try to do it, and then what I actually have to do is say, okay, based upon what you've sent me, I want you to create a prompt for Claude based upon all of this information, and then I put that prompt into Claude, and I think the writing has been a lot better, and it
Oh, I
communicates.
love that. I
Yeah,
love that. I'm gonna have to do that. All right.
gotta
So
check his.
give a prompt to Claude. That's right.
So let's talk about a con. Con is AI tools, for the most part, are not HIPAA compliant. You need to be very careful. Given a warning on this before, they could be hit with an audit. You don't know if you've got patient information, you could be hit with that. So you got to be very careful if you're going to be using it for soap notes. You got to be careful. Make sure you're not putting any sensitive information, because there's still a lot of concerns about data privacy using AI. So again, be forewarned. If anybody wants to do an investigation, they have said, OpenAI says, yes, we are not HIPAA compliant, so be careful on that. Okay, let's give another pro. Pro is it can help with decision making. Doctors use it to research normal results, suggest diagnoses. Again, we're not saying this is to replace it. I do see where this is going, but there are tools that you can use in terms of like dosing. I've used it to just quickly calculate. I've had a patient, they're complaining about the dosage that they're using. I'm not sure, based upon the information that they get, I can really help titrate things using it. So I've been using it. I have like a chat GPT as kind of my peripheral brain to help me do calculations to just basically oversee some of the lab results. Again, I'm not suggesting that it's going to replace you. And again, you have to double check and triple check all of these things to make sure it is accurate. But it can be very helpful with decision support and risk stratification. What did you want to comment on that? I know you.
I don't use it as much because of what you said there,
Yeah,
because I'm kind of old fashioned in that sense. I mean, I still use up to date, but I don't really use AI to kind of for differential diagnosis or anything like that. But I assume like something like up to date or something is coming out with AI. Is there an AI medical condition to diagnosis?
yeah. I believe UpToDate has an AI component to it, so you can
Mm.
definitely start utilizing that, and it's going to get more and more sophisticated.
I definitely think so. And I mean, I'll use it when it's more reliable, but I'm still kind of like up here. In the end, you're still the clinician,
Eh,
and no AI is going to replace the one-to-one interaction that you have with your patient and the decision making, because AI can give you the data and the facts, but AI can't do examination and interact with the patient as well too. But unless you've been living under a rock or in a cave the last 3 years or so, AI will become an integral part of our everyday life at this point. So what I guess the con is depending on it, make sure that it is correct because it can still make mistakes.
Exactly. And that leads to our third con is this overdependence and getting complacent. I haven't seen too many doctors saying it, or they say they don't want to admit it. But yeah, if you rely too heavily on AI with understanding, the clinical strategy, then we're just pressing buttons on here. Then when we do all of our trading, you want to make sure we don't lose that human touch on here. And there are things here that it may help you. If someone's giving me a lot of information, it can help you funnel this down on it, but it's not going to replace that. You want to make sure because, like I said, it hallucinates, it makes mistakes, and that's the last thing you want to do in front of a medical board. Was like, oh, I use ChatGPT to respond. That's not going to
Well,
fly. That's not going to fly. Let's talk about another pro, and I know you also use this as well because we had a whole seminar on it. You can use AI to help produce courses, to produce webinars, to produce books, video scripts using AI. I can't even now imagine now creating content from scratch. It was so hard back in the days, all the way back in 2021 when we were all struggling to create our own content. We're using it for helping us create slides, for scripting. We use it for information products, for helping create content, coaching content. And even now I have my own GPT. We have our own GPT that just learns from what I've done, all my episodes I've done, all the episodes I've done with Anne, my books, articles that I've written, videos, etc. And now that is taking that information and it's built up a solid database to help me write better content for my clients and prospects.
I used to pay a copywriter $20,000 to write email copy for us that we would send to our list to do a promotion or launch of a service. This is before AI. This is like, I think like in 2021, literally we paid $20,000 for 3 email sequence. And now you can use AI and it will write it in 2 minutes. But obviously, it doesn't have that human touch and that emotional. Again, writing the email that is persuasive and that move a reader from reading to buying, taking that step. It's still strategy associated with that, but at least you can start out with the basics and then add in some more of that. What I find, Mike, is that it's a good starting point, but then I still add in some stuff in addition to it to make it more robust and make it more emotional. Even with Claude, it can put some emotion in the email, but it's not as humanized as we would write as a copywriter that and one of the top rated copywriter that can write something because I can see the difference. And you can kind of see a little bit when something is AI generated, not as emotional that's somebody that write it from scratch. I think like 3 years ago, I took a certification course to be a copywriter to how to write persuasive copy. And I think that was the best thing that I did. It was $15,000 certification for over 6 months. And I had to turn in homework to be graded in my copy for email, for funnels and headlines and all that. And I'm glad I did because it definitely gave me a valuable skills in writing copy. But at that time, there was no AI. You had to start from scratch. But there is a formula on how to do that. And now with using AI and then what I've learned, I feel that my skills has increased exponentially in copywriting as well.
And the next con that I want to share with you, it's not really a con, but it's kind of like a warning or wait and see, is there's a lot of uncertainty about how AI is being used and what how the medical boards and regulators are going to evaluate AI because they're still catching up how we're using AI in clinical decision making, in telemedicine on, or we don't know what's going on. Again, everything's slow in medicine, right? We still use fax machines, guys. So they're not going to know what's going on in the latest in ChatGPT 4.0. So there are some things where it's still kind of Wild West. We're just not sure. Again, common sense makes sense. Make sure if you're using it for soap notes, make sure you edit it. Make sure before it goes out that you are actually seeing and making sure you're approving. It's definitely making it your job more efficient, but you never know. Again, just a word of warning before you're using it to completely change your practice. Then in terms of a great pro, and both Ann and I have benefited from it, AI has replaced. I had dedicated employees just in doing some of the tools that AI is replacing, doing copywriting, creating images. I remember paying $100 or $200 to create an image, a logo or more, right? Helping me with analytics. Now my operations are a lot leaner. That means I can use that money into other aspects of my business. And it's just replaced these large marketing teams. Just give you one example. And I know you've paid a lot for marketing as well. And you want to talk about your experience using AI?
Yeah, we have created lead magnets with AI. Before, we were paying a marketing team $25,000 a month,
Wow.
and for them just to help us write an ebook. With the content came from me. Content, I wrote it, and then they just designed it into an ebook as a lead magnet, and they wrote some email sequence for us and wrote the copy for the funnel. And so right now we have really replace the whole marketing team. I'm the copywriter, and we have a funnel builder on our team. We use AI to generate the copy, but we still build the funnel ourselves from scratch because I've been trained as a funnel builder with Russell Brunson in my first marketing training ever. So I still kept those skills at this time. And I don't think we'll need an agency, but definitely once in a while, we'll need a consultant to up level our copy sometimes, or just somebody just to read it over again for us. And we're actually creating an FAQ. So I'm launching a supplement line along with a medical device like the vacuum erection pump. And we're now creating FAQ. So if anybody have any question, they go to the AI for FAQ, and then the AI will determine if it needs to go to a human customer service person. So we literally replace kind of a customer service branch of our e-commerce now with AI. And I'll give you another tip too. So doctors, I know that I met a lot of doctors that are online that need more lead to come into your online business or into your office. I use Delphi, Delphi. I created Delphi AI and I fed it all my content and everything. And now we're using it as a lead generation. So it's a link and you put it out in your bio, on your social media, on your YouTube channel, everywhere. And then if you say, well, this is my AI, this is my clone. You want to ask any questions regarding sexual health, use this. But before they get the answer, you ask for their name and their email. So that is personalized AI. But with Delphi, you can also monetize, but if they wanted to call and talk to your AI, you can charge for that as well too. And you can also get text messages as in an advisor. So I have not fully used the whole suite of services, but I'm using it more as a lead generation where I use it as kind of like tap into Dr. Ann's brain. But before I give you the answer, you got to give me your email first because doctor and email is your gold mine. It is your gold mine. Every email is worth $1 a month. We actually cleaned up our list recently. We used to have 25. We now clean it up to now we have about 20,000 email, but they're engaged emails. So when we say clean up, that means that people have not responded to us within the last 90 days. We call that not so much engaged. So we clean up our list. We have about 20,000 right now. And we're adding more every day. We're adding about 50 emails a day. So our list is growing and growing. But you got to get ways to get new leads come in because you don't have new people coming in. You're not going to grow your audience who can see your offer. And we need to do an episode on offer now that I'm thinking about it because one of my coach said people can't buy from you if you don't give them an offer. Low ticket, mid ticket, and high ticket offer. And honestly, the offer I created for $100,000 for one of my patients, I created 5 minutes in my office because I wanted to over deliver. I wanted to create an offer at that price. And so if you don't have something to offer, you may not get somebody to take you up on it. 10%, the people that buy from you will be willing to pay a premium price or whatever offer you have. So think about that, 10%. So you may be missing out. You don't have a high-end offer.
Yeah, and I want to give a couple honorable mentions on our pros and cons. Pros, we use AI for chatbots, for FAQs that can help you pre-screen leads. We have to schedule appointments, so you can use AI-driven scheduling for it. I know you've used it. I've used it. The cons is you still got to be very careful about marketing, making sure it's not crossing ethical lines. I've seen AI make up exaggerated claims on there. People are very savvy of the content of AI. It has a way of writing. This is AI created. And you just want to be more generic or impersonal. But then finally, the last con is not really a con for you guys because there is a learning curve that you have to be involved in AI. You have to learn what the right stack. If you've been following us, you understand like Claude, we use it for copywriting. ChatGPT, if it's kind of our workhorse. We give you all of these different tools, but I know it can be overwhelming for that. So I think being a part of the Dr. Boss community, make sure you also join our school at doctorsonlinesuccess.com, where we talk about AI. And even next week, I'll be attending a marketing event. I know, Ann, you can't make it, but I know AI, they're talking about AI cutting edge strategies that I'll be sharing with you in the school group. So that con is of being overwhelmed is we help decipher all this AI and sometimes madness to you to make it more efficient, more effective for you. Because at the end of the day, I think that physicians who adopt AI strategically will not only thrive, they're going to be lead. But like it's any powerful tool, you got to use it wisely. If you neglect it for using clinical oversight, for patient privacy, ethical marketing, it could lead more harm than good. So you need to ask yourself, do you want to be disrupted from AI or do you want to be the disruptor? So thank you for joining us for the pros and cons of AI. Remember, at the end of the day, you're not just a doctor, you're a doctor boss. And any last minute words before we end the call today?
Yeah, and remember, you are the doctor boss, and no one's coming in to save you, and you got to take that initial step. And just know that Mike and I are passionate about helping doctors really own our profession again. We want to make you be independent and really turn your expertise in getting paid for what you have sacrificed your a decade or more of your life for, and to be appreciated, to get paid for what you deserve. Because right now, with insurance reimbursement the way they are, guys, it doesn't make sense to stay in that system. There are ways to monetize or make money online with your medical expertise. So, having said that, Mike and I will be running a webinar to show doctors how to turn their medical expertise into online income. Stay tuned for that. Check out this banner right down here to sign up and be on the wait list for our next webinar that we'll be running as well. Having said that, we'll see you in the next episode.